Happy Friday, everybody. So this episode is going to kind of cover some of the things we've been doing in the shop, kind of prepping for the next sale. You kind of saw the next sale is end of April, and we're just going to kind of go over some of the things we've been doing and just kind of show you some of my stuff some of my, I wouldn't say prized possessions, but some of those minerals that people don't get to always see all the time at the sales that are in my collection, and every once in a while I'll kind of throw them out of the sales just to kind of share with everybody. So let's kind of get started with that. That's kind of what's on this table is just some of the findings over the years and just some of the pieces like the big pyrite. It was acquired, was not found. But all these pieces have a story, and it's kind of fun to kind of look back on and share that with others. So we're going to kind of go with the most recent one. That's that selenite. You kind of saw that with one of our last videos. We took the good old Ryko up in the mountains, and we found this really cool selenite, and you kind of see how delicate those crystals are up through there. So that was a really cool find. That was definitely the find of the day. And so kind of just going from left to right. So we have this black druzy. That's one of my most favorite pieces because if I can get that light on just right, that sparkle is incredible. I love that. But that was really cool to find that out in Arizona where we kind of go hiking and camping and all that good stuff. And then speaking of where we go hiking and camping in Arizona, we find these stalactites. Now, stalactites, if you know me, are one of my favorites. And this is kind of on a flowstone travertine base. You can kind of see those layers up through there. So it's a very unique kind of setup. And they're kind of like a Chalcedony stalactite up on top. You can kind of see that base layer, especially on that side where it's kind of like gets reds to oranges, but really neat. And it's kind of crazy how delicate these guys get too. So you can see right there how delicate those little stalactites come from. And some of this stuff will glow under a black light, which is kind of neat too, being Chalcedony. And then we got the big Peru pyrite. I love the shape of that. It's so cool. Like I said, this is one of the pieces that I'll throw out every once in a while because I think it's so unique and so massive, right? So it's an awesome piece to show everybody. This is my brick of snakeskin wood. So just a piece of Parker wood with that beautiful kind of snakeskin design throughout. The cube, we got the Iceland Zollite right there. That was a lot of fun when we went out to Iceland to kind of go hiking. Every hike is pretty much along a waterfall. So you find some really cool pieces up through there. Of course, we had to show some rhodochrosite from beautiful Colorado up towards Alma. So right here is kind of a nice, get closer here. It's a nice kind of three minerals through there. So you got the galena, it's that metallic mineral in there, kind of the black. The rhodochrosite's the pink, of course. Then you kind of got pyrite mixed in there as well. And this is actually a slice. One of my first slices that I did from out there. It's nothing too impressive, but really if you get this wet or when I put it in a microscope, you see so much. And it's so cool. It's like you kind of become a little scientist, little chemist. So really fun to look at. And then I guess the last piece, second to last piece we're going to talk about is this galena right here. I'm going off the theme of metallic crystals, lead-based minerals, which is always fun. So that one, it doesn't look like much, right? I literally picked this up off the hill after a full day of rock hounding, and it was really we've been looking for the galena all day, and we found a decent amount. We probably had like 40 pounds of galena in our backpacks, and once I got back to the bottom of the hill, because it's probably about a 1.5 mile hike, once we got down to the bottom, that's where we found this piece, and it looks like nothing right up on top, except you have a couple little small traces that, oh man, it looks like that galena that we're finding. And as you know, in this location, it's in like a what was it, sulfur oxide is kind of the yellow material, and we'll kind of go back I'm talking about. So that yellow is kind of that sulfur oxide that's on top of this mineral. So it kind of hides that galena. So you can kind of see that little piece. That little piece was not open in this rock when I found it. It was pretty much all yellow like that. And the dead giveaway with this stuff, and I've kind of shown you videos before of it, is it's dense. It's really heavy. Galena being a lead-based mineral, it is heavy with everything else. So that piece right there probably weighs a good 25 pounds. So that's definitely one of the cool pieces, you know, that I always love to show people as well. And then the last piece we want to show here is basically the botrydal. It's kind of botrydal. You kind of got some botrydals in there. The botrydal crystals, those bubbly crystals that you're going to see through there. But it's Chalcedony. And I always like to call this one like the twin turbo, because the top two crystals up there kind of look like a, you know, a turbo engine up on top of like a cool like Dodge Charger. So that's always been a cool piece in the collection. I always love to kind kind of showcase that one too. So switching over, we're going to kind of show you some of the things we've been doing in the kind of mechanical spot of the shop. So we kind of have our drill press, we have the little saw, we have a couple tumblers, some other little saws back over there. So we've been working on drill pressing, so we've been cutting a lot of holes in a lot of these rocks to kind of make these little setups for everybody. Now none of these are glued down, but you can kind of see the different options that we have: the ore quartz, the cool opalized wood, the wonder stone from Arizona, some more opalized wood, some cool turquoise through there on that one, some black tourmaline, some selenite, local selenite, azurite, malachite. So we've been cutting up a lot of those. That's been really fun to have. You know, we're gonna have a whole table of nothing but those little displays right there, so that'll be fun. And then we have a customer that we're actually cutting rocks right now. I turned this off just so it's not too loud, but we've been cutting a lot of cool rocks for her, so you can kind of see some of the cool pieces. Apophyllite, I believe these are through here. But these will be really fun to cut. Slab up, along with that crystal as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to keep working on rocking out. And thank you so much for watching us. Have a great weekend, everybody.